Alright, basically I'm gonna start with the sell limit and the buy limit orders. Okay. Let's say you want to enter a trade, yeah, at a certain price. For example, let's say let's just say there's a resistance line here, a support line here, sorry, okay? Let's say market is here. You want to enter a trade where market reaches here. But let's say you don't think you would be on your phone or whatever around that time to be checking when market reaches here. What you can do, you can set an order, something called a pending order, at this price. That means that when market reaches this price, so let's say you set a buy pending order at this price, when market reaches this price, automatically take a buy trade for you. Now, a pending order is split into I think four things: a sell limit, a buy limit, a sell stop, or a buy stop. I'm gonna go through each of them now. The first one I'm gonna start with is the sell limit. Okay, now let's say a sell limit is basically right when you want to sell, okay, trade downwards at a price that is give me 1 second, sorry. So um, at a price that is above the current market price, for example. Okay, so this is a sell limit. Okay, so when you want to sell at a price that is above the current market price, this is, let's say there's a resistance here. Okay, um, yeah, there's a resistance here. Okay, market is here. Okay, you want to sell when market reaches here. Okay, this is where market is. This is the price market is. But this price that you want to sell at is above the current market price. Therefore, when you go to your MT4, you choose sell limit and then you put in this price. What that means is when market does come to this price, your trade will automatically you enter an automatic sell trade. Okay. Now a sell stop is the opposite. It's when you want to sell at a price that is below the current market price. For example, this is still line. Let's say you want to sell at this price, okay? The market is here. You can see this price is below the current market price here, okay? And you want to sell at this price, so use a sell stop when going to MT4, okay? So we know where you have your instant execution, that area or instant order. You change that to sell stop, okay? For this price. So when market reaches this price, your sell order will automatically be executed, okay? Now buy limit is the now, a buy limit is obviously for the upward scenario. Let's say you want to buy, okay, at a price that is below the current market price. So this price here is below. So you want to buy at this price here, but this is where we are. So this price that you want to buy at is below the current market price. Use a buy limit, okay. So when you set a buy limit for this price, when market hits this price, your trader automatically, you automatically market automatic your broker automatically execute a buy trade for you. Okay, and a sell stop is the opposite. I mean, sorry, a buy stop is the opposite. Is when you want to buy at a price that is below the current market price. Okay, so this is the price below the current market price. Okay, but so you want to buy at this price. This is the current market price. Sorry, is when you want to buy at a price that is above the current market price. Okay, so this is the current market price. You want to buy here the current market. So this is the current market price here. Sorry, you want to buy here. That's because the current market price is below the price you want to buy at, so use a buy stop. So when market hits here, your buy trade will be executed. Okay, that's the difference between the four of them. Okay, explained. And the scenarios that I usually use them in is just sometimes I use them to set my entry. For example, if I go to trading view, um, okay, uh, okay, let's say from all my, sorry, I'm just going to an actual forex pair. Okay, let's say for all my analysis I've done, okay, I want to buy Euro USD. Okay, so sometimes I use it, for example, let's say I've done a lot of analysis, my trade idea has been hit, Okay, but let's say we've just broken this zone here, and I want to buy when market reaches back here. Okay, first of all, I go to my 1 hour just to see a bit more clear, just to, I use it for entry. Okay, and I'll here in this case I would use, so if I want to buy, let's say sometimes I wait for a retest. Okay, so I wait for a retest of a zone. Okay, and then I wait for, if I so that, okay, so let's say market is like here. Let's say the zone was broken. Sometimes I wait for a retest here up to here before I buy, depending on, all your confirmations and etc. Okay, and then here I'll wait for like bullish price action before I decide to buy. But sometimes because of other things, I'll be so sure that when market retest here, we should move up. So what I would do in this case is, okay, I would around here or whenever, I would just set in this case this would be buy limit order, okay, at this price. So when market hits here, my trade will be automatically taken. Okay, so that's just one scenario where I use it. Sometimes I use it for entry correlation to fibs. Let's say I want to enter here, okay. Um, sorry. Let's say I want to. So I want to enter right now. I'm on the 1 hour chart. Sometimes what I might do is, okay, I can't do it in this case. I'll leave the second scenario for now. But yeah, that's just examples of how you can do. You can develop entries with sell limit, buy limit, and stuff like that. Okay. Now the second part of this video is just going to be fundamentals. Um, you asked the question that how exactly that you're a bit confused on how to use fundamentals when it comes to your analysis. Um, basically you have. Let me just go. Give me 1 second. Okay, you don't have to like rely on fundamentals a lot. Or the thing with fundamentals is if you understand economics you can use it a lot, but if you don't, you just the basic you need to understand. Like I said, you just need to read the weekly outlook, see what's going on in the economy. Okay, so for example, okay, if the weekly outlook is telling you that um if the weekly outlook is telling you that if inflation increases, okay, interest rate may be hiked, which would lead to a stronger dollar, okay, and then that inflation when you go check your economic calendar, inflation rate is coming out on Tuesday, and you see it is being hiked, and then you go analyze DXY, and DXY is looking bullish. You have fundamental backing that as a confirmation. Let's say you go analyze DXY and DXY is looking bearish, then you have to be a bit wary because fundamental is telling you the opposite. Does that make sense? You don't have to think too much with it. The only thing I ask is just to read the weekly outlook. Okay, try to understand it and see what's happening with each economy because it will really aid your analysis. Okay, and then when you read the weekly outlook, you see what happened with last week. Okay, is the dollar uncertain? Should we expect a bullish dollar this week based on what you read? And I'll tell you what events on your economic calendar you should pay attention to. But you can already get that by just go to your economic calendar and filtering it to the most important things. Okay, so for example, if I go to my calendar now, I filter it to the most important things. Okay, apply. Okay, and let's say obviously we're on now Sunday, so let's say tomorrow Monday. Okay, let's say here the Euro CPI. Just because the Euro, this is the well, this may not this is the okay. Let me use the AUD minutes meeting. This is a meeting. Okay, this is the wrong thing. Let me use this one. The German IFO business climate. This is obviously on the most important, but it doesn't mean much unless the economic calendar told, unless on the weekly outlook you see that okay, if the I4 business climate is positive, this will mean good news for the euro. Then you know that this will be important. Okay, but if you don't see something like that, okay, then this is not that it's not important, but you don't have to pay too much attention to it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. If it told you that pay attention to the U.S. economic data this week, as if they're positive or if they grow, will show you that the dollar's weak or strong. Then you know that each U.S. thing on the most important, pay attention to it. Does that make sense? Yeah. And how you would do that is if for example, when the building commits, it doesn't mean you can't take a trade. Okay, you can have your trade running while the building comes out. That's completely fine. But when it comes out, if it's bullish, okay, and they tell you that okay, if it grows, it's good for the dollar. Okay, then you know that okay that this that okay there's a bullish confirmation with the dollar. Does that make a bit of sense? So don't think too much about it. Just use the simplest things to aid your analysis. Okay. The only thing I'll tell you not to trade during is the non-farm payroll on Friday, first Friday of each month. That was last week, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, or the week before last. Yeah, that's one thing I was saying not to trade through. But there's nothing too much of fundamentals. If you're still confused, just tell me. But yeah, don't worry about that too much. The other two topics I wanted to cover, I can't really remember them. Let me be honest with you. Let me think about it. Give me that 30 seconds. Yeah, I can't remember the other two topics. So I've texted you. When you reply to me, I'll try to record on tomorrow. Or sorry, later today, and try to upload it and get it back to you. Okay, I'll be doing my chart as well later on this morning. So I'll send you a couple of the pairs I'm doing as well. You know, my analysis and etc. It may not be a video, it might just be screenshots because I will be quite busy today. But yeah, that's basically it.